Jill here. Thanks for stopping by. Today I'm going to go over 7 industries that you could work in and feel really good about. So I know right now in our current state of the world, a lot of people for a lot of different reasons are looking to change careers or just looking to start their career and wondering what they should get into, what you could get into, because there's so much change about um, and nobody wants to get stuck in a job where they're feeling like they're not doing something good and they're feeling crappy about themselves. So, without further ado, let's jump in. The 7 industries that I think need good people in them right now and that you could feel really good about becoming involved in if you would choose to become involved in them are, I'm going to go over them individually. The first one is education. Our current education system in America, at least, is it's kind of in a sad state. It works really well for what it was designed for in some cases, in other cases not. But what it was designed for and the world that we currently live in and are heading to live in, there's a real growing divide, disconnect, I think. So I have a degree in education. It's something I'm passionate about, and I choose to explore how to educate people through writing books, through edutainment, through YouTube, through individual one-on-one. But there are many ways that we can use more educators in our world, whether it's in a traditional school setting, which definitely needs good people in it, whether it's in a, some kind of transitional or charter system that's trying to start with the traditional system and move into something else, whether it's something completely new and different, like tutoring on the internet, or one of the newer models of education, more hands-on, the Montessori model, or teaching through music. There's probably a lot of ways not thought of yet. I think there's some exciting stuff going on with the internet and giving kids tablets. Anyway, becoming involved in education is definitely an area where humanity and the earth needs more good people. And so if you get involved in education, that's something you can really feel good about. Now, it's kind of notoriously an area that hasn't paid as well as some, or not up to par with the amount of money or the amount of work that you might do to be an educator. I think that is up for change. I think it's up to us to change that. So I would love to see us do that. And I think some educators do get paid pretty well. So yeah, that's up to us, and that's something I'd love to see us change. Number 2 is energy. That's a huge field, has been, but continues to be. And right now, as we're transitioning from fossil fuels into whether it's renewables or nuclear or hydrogen or yet undiscovered or untold forms of energy, I don't know. I'm intrigued by all of it, and I see that there's great need for more people, more good people to be interested and involved and help us develop new technologies and help us update the grid to be less based on fossil fuels and more based on renewables or more clean energy. Passive temperature control is something I've spent a lot of time exploring in this head hut that I'm sitting in here. This is a experimental mega sculpture inspired by the Earthship crew, who plays with passive temperature control, solar gain, and thermal battery, thermal mass insulation, all those fancy, sexy words. Anyway, there's a great need for more people in the industries of energy. I say industries because it's really not just one. There's a lot of different ones in there, but anything to do with energy, I think right now is in need and highly admirable as a field or an industry to get into and feel good about. So number 3 is entertainment. That's kind of, all these are connected in a way. I think entertainment is a form of education, or can be. And I think more and more as we're stepping into this virtual world, and more as we're getting connected through the internet, and as we have more and more choices for entertainment and what we choose to fill our time with, it's more and more important to have choices which help us grow, choices which educate us or make us feel good or help us reflect, inspire us to be better people. instead of choices that just, lower our thinking or, pardon me. I think there's a lot of room for great good to be done through entertainment, through the superhero stories, through storytelling, both fiction and nonfiction. Great work to be done. Well, I guess it would be mostly fiction, but also entertaining nonfiction, which is something I kind of am working on myself. So I think there's lots of good to be done. It's a huge, wide open industry, and the only limitation is in your mind. So go for it. Pardon me. Whew. Next, number 4 is food production. Man, we like to eat, don't we? And there's just more and more of us all the time. And our traditional systems for food production, farming, you may know, are kind of in crisis across the globe as climate change and various technologies have come in and disrupted what used to be the norm. Farmers are no longer able to really make a living. Suicide rates among farmers are higher than they've ever been and continue to rise, to my knowledge. And meanwhile, we need new ways of providing healthy food. We need new ways of managing our soils. We need new ways of meeting the nutritional needs of all of us humans in ways that don't ruin the planet. So I'm super excited about vertical farming, aquaponics, permaculture, microgreens is a special little passion of mine lately. But all of those come back to healthy, happy, sustainable food production. And I think there's lots of money to be made in food production. I think for those people who do it right, who get in now, like some of those fields like microgreens and aquaponics can really pay off in the long run and also be something you can really feel good about. Not only are they just enjoyable through the day, I'm the kind of person that likes that kind of thing. Maybe you aren't, and so maybe it wouldn't be for you. But for me, I love the physicality of gardening and farming, and I love working with soil and plants and seeds and animals. And so that kind of job would be very rewarding on that level. And then also it can be financially rewarding if it's set up right. It can be dismally non-financially rewarding if not set up right, as our traditional farmers have largely found out. But I think that is an industry where there's lots of room for growth, where it's a great time to get into some of these new technologies like microgreens, like vertical farming of microgreens, permaculture, aquaponics, lots and lots of opportunity in those industries. Number 5 is forestry. Our trees need us. We need our trees. And I think anyone who gets into forestry has the potential to make a real positive impact on our planet right now. And it's an admirable job. And I think it pays pretty decent too. I've met a couple people over the years that work for the Forestry Service, and there are other ways to get into forestry. That's just one. But they get paid decent and they feel pretty good about their jobs, and they spend a lot of time in the forest enjoying life. So I think that I always thought that sounded like a pretty admirable and enjoyable job. And right now, again, with climate change, there's a lot of new opportunities for reclamation, for reforestation, for managing the bark beetle infestations, for fire management. There's lots of need for good people in forestry in the various jobs, and something that you could feel really good about if you want to get involved. So that was number 5. Number 6 is healthcare. Man, again, a huge, wide open industry with lots and lots of great opportunity, lots of need, lots of place for you to come in and make a difference and feel good about yourself and about your life. People are aging. Life is really, I know we kind of, like the media would have you believe that life is terrible, but actually life is getting better all the time. It's better than it's ever been. And our lifespan is increasing across the globe, and so is our population, and so the need for health care, health management, and I would put a little asterisk on that and say, please, let's focus on health, not disease management, because a lot of our westernized or what we call traditional, it's just very new Western medicine, is a little off base, in my opinion, and focusing a lot on disease management. And there's a lot of incentive in our current system through the pharmaceutical and insurance companies to keep people kind of sick instead of healthy. So I encourage you, if you're interested in helping people feel good or having a job that you feel good about, to look into healthcare. And I encourage you, if you do that, to look into some of the what are called alternative, but what I would actually argue are the more traditional methods of healing that look at the body holistically, not just even the single body, but the whole community, and look at mental health and physical health as intertwined, interconnected, and don't try to separate out just my one little body part. And because it rarely isn't effective. That's disease management, disease care. That's not health care. That's not whole body care. So anyway, that's my little rant on that. I have been involved in healthcare. I'm a massage therapist, and I studied to be a surgeon for a while when I was younger, and went through pre-med school, and then kind of got turned off to it because of the pharmaceutical industry's hold in that industry. But I have also studied Chinese medicine, and I'm just intrigued with natural, practical healing in general, with the ability of the mind, the role that the mind plays in healing, and the way things are all interconnected. That I find that fascinating. I have struggled with a lot of health issues through my life, so that's led me to have a really better understanding of my own health, and I'm grateful for that. So that's another little rant about healthcare. But anyway, last but not least, number 7 industry that I think really needs good people in it and that you could get involved in and feel really good about is housing. That's another passion of mine, and this structure, the Head Hut, is part of my school and my self-curriculum school that I put myself through to learn more about small housing, about passive temperature control, and about just some building methodology in general, like load-bearing walls, plumbing, and leveling, and bond beams and arches and decks and all kinds of cool stuff I learned about in building this project. And now I'm ready to go onward and do bigger and better things. Anyway, that's a tangent to my point, which is that housing is a growing need industry. Housing that makes sense, that's energy efficient, that is both community friendly, people friendly, earth friendly. Like, we could do better with housing, y'all. In this country, our ticky-tacky little neighborhoods that don't pay any regard to the sun or the earth and just pop up boxes, like cardboard boxes pretty much, doesn't make any sense in the long run. It makes sense maybe short term sometimes, but even that, we could do better. So that's a passion of mine, and I would love to encourage you, if you're looking for an industry to get into, think about housing. Again, there's kind of a lot of variety that you could get involved in, from making tiny homes to selling them, to improving a trailer park lot or RV parks, or restoring old homes and buildings and making them more, insulating them. I'm trying to think of the word, and it's escaping me right now, but switching over, that's not the word I was looking for, but what I'm trying to do with my current house here in the city is to switch it over to solar, switch it over to gray water. I don't know why that word. It starts with an R. It's not coming to me. But anyway, it's not restoration or reclamation. All those are great. Retrofitting, that's closer. Any case, there is a lot of work to be done to improve our housing, both with building new stuff and upgrading our old stuff. So that's number 7. Just to re-summarize, that was education, energy, entertainment, food, forestry, housing, and healthcare. Those are our 7 industries that I think need you. They need good people. We need good people in those industries, and you could get involved in those, make good money, and feel really good about your life. And you could do it from, either working for somebody else, working for yourself. There's lots of ways you could get involved in those industries, every one of them. So I encourage you. I hope that helps. My intention with this channel is to help you bloom into your best self. So I hope that information sparks something helpful in you. And if it did, or you know someone it might, please pass it along. Share it with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Till next time, peace, prosperity, and possibilities.